On a secluded homestead in Oklahoma, a young girl named Jo and her family scramble to find refuge from a monstrous tornado. As the gusts howl and the skies grow ominous, Jo's father rushes to shut the cellar door but is tragically swept into the storm, losing his life. In the present time, meteorologists at the National Severe Storms Laboratory monitor a developing weather phenomenon over Oklahoma, warning that it could trigger a remarkable outbreak of tornadoes. Meanwhile, Bill Harding, a former storm pursuer, travels with his fiancée, Dr. Melissa Reeves, to collect the final divorce documents from his estranged wife, Dr. Jo Harding. Since her father's untimely death, Jo has dedicated herself to studying tornadoes, determined to spare others from enduring the same sorrow. Jo, still harboring feelings for Bill, delays the divorce proceedings, hoping to rekindle their relationship. She persuades Bill to join her storm-chasing crew for one last mission, revealing that his brainchild, an innovative data collection instrument called Dorothy, is now fully functional. The team has built 4 Dorothy units, intended to be placed directly in a tornado's path to collect invaluable data from inside the vortex. Upon receiving reports of nearby tornado activity from Haynes, Jo's team mobilizes. Bill's longtime adversary, Dr. Jonas Miller, arrives with his assistant Eddie, leading a rival crew. Bill notices Jonas giving an interview to reporters and realizes he has plagiarized the Dorothy concept, constructing an imitation to claim the accolades. Dismissing Bill's outrage, Jonas downplays it as unrealized opportunity. Refusing to be outdone, Bill agrees to remain with Jo's team for one final pursuit. As the crew embarks on the chase, Bill and Jo discuss the complicated nature of their relationship. Suddenly, Belzer spots a tornado forming in the distance. Jo and Bill race to intercept it but end up stuck in a gully. Their truck crashes into a small wooden overpass, forcing them to shelter beneath it. Despite Jo's eagerness to move closer to the twister, Bill pulls her back just in time, as the tornado lifts their truck into the air, smashing one of the Dorothy units. The vehicle crashes down in front of Melissa, who narrowly avoids a collision. As Bill comforts Melissa, Jo salvages several sensors from the wrecked Dorothy 1. Jonas's team arrives belatedly, missing the storm. With no other means of transportation, Jo convinces Bill to use his truck to carry the remaining 3 Dorothy units. Together, Bill, Jo, and Melissa continue the chase. When a new tornado materializes, both teams scramble to get ahead of it. Bill foresees a shift in the tornado's path and guides his crew down an isolated route. However, they accidentally drive onto a bridge, where waterspouts spin their truck out of control. They make it to safety, but Melissa becomes distressed, questioning if she belongs in Bill's dangerous world. The team stops for a break at Jo's Aunt Meg's house to rest and replenish. During their stay, Melissa learns more about Bill's past as a storm chaser and Jo's emotional turmoil. Aunt Meg subtly suggests that Jo and Bill's connection may still have life left in it. News of another tornado sends the team back into action. Jo and Bill ride together, while Melissa joins Dusty in a different vehicle. In their rush to outpace Jonas's group, they narrowly avoid another near miss. Jo and Bill face a chaotic tornado and attempt to deploy Dorothy 2, but a falling power line damages their truck, wrecking the unit. Jo rushes to collect the scattered sensors, but Bill pulls her back as the tornado doubles back toward them. Once safe, Jo leaps out again to recover more sensors, but Bill confronts her, saying her obsession with Dorothy is driven by unresolved grief. He admits he still cares for her, and their intimate conversation is unintentionally broadcast over the CB radio for the entire team to hear, including Melissa. That night, the crew stays in Fairview to repair their vehicles. Jo reluctantly signs the divorce papers, marking the end of her marriage to Bill. Just then, Dusty alerts the group about an approaching tornado. They dash to take cover in the garage pit of a drive-in theater as the twister tears through the area, demolishing vehicles and injuring several bystanders. After the storm, the group surveys the damage and learns the tornado is now headed toward Wichita City. Bill insists they check on Aunt Meg. During the drive, Melissa calmly dissolves her engagement to Bill, recognizing that his passion for storm chasing runs too deep, and that Jo needs him more. When they arrive in Wichita, they find the town in ruins. Joe realizes the storm's sirens gave residents little time to evacuate. Meg's house is on the brink of collapse, but Bill and Joe manage to rescue her and her dog moments before the structure crumbles. Before being taken to the hospital, Meg encourages Joe to perfect her research and prevent further catastrophes like Wikitas. The weather agency forecasts a mammoth tornado forming the next day. Inspired by Meg's wind vane sculptures, Joe adds lightweight aluminum pinwheels to Dorothy's sensors to enhance their aerodynamics. The following day, the mile-wide tornado descends. Bill and Joe attempt to deploy Dorothy 3, but it's shattered by flying debris. As the storm closes in, Bill weaves through fire and wreckage, narrowly escaping with Joe. Meanwhile, Jonas and Eddie make a final attempt to intercept the tornado with their version of Dorothy. Ignoring Bill and Joe's warnings, Jonas bullheadedly pushes forward. The tornado lifts Jonas's vehicle and slams it to the ground in a fiery explosion, killing him. With only one Dorothy unit remaining, Bill and Joe mount it onto their truck and drive directly into the tornado's path. They jump out just in time, sacrificing the truck to release Dorothy 4. Now without transportation, they sprint on foot as the tornado rumbles toward them. They find refuge inside a nearby pump house, strapping themselves to heavy pipes for safety. As the ferocious core of the tornado passes overhead, they cling to the pipes with all their strength. When the storm finally dissipates, the team rejoices in their success, and Joe and Bill reconcile, ready to face the future together.